Hi, boys and girls. So we're going to do LAL Day 2. Please make sure you're on Language Arts. Class Pages. Make sure when you click on First Pages, you click on to e-learning for grades 3, LAL, ELA, weeks 5 through 8. And then click on week 6 and it'll bring you to your welcome message. So again, we are still talking about how did that get in my lunchbox. So if you need, you have the story in front of you again, or you have your MyBook at home. So you could always open that up and use that to help you. So have that MyBook by your side if you could. Yesterday we talked about text structures. We're going to do more practice with text structures. So if I were you, do you remember that anchor chart we used yesterday that was in assignment 1? You could click on assignment 1 and click on the text structure anchor chart if you want. Or you could just click right here, anchor chart, text structure, to pop it up over here. If I were you, I'd keep it open for this assignment so that you can refer to it when you need to. So like I said, there were so many different anchor charts for text structure, but I like this one. I like the second one. So I like to use that one. Remember, if the author describes a topic or idea by listing features or characteristics, he is using the story as a description. So if he's talking about an apple and he says it's big, red, and juicy, those are adjectives. Those are description. Okay? If the author is talking about a bird versus a lion and how they are the same and how they are different, then the text structure would be compare and contrast because they're talking about the differences between an animal, two different animals, but how they're the same too. If the author does cause and effect, that means he does because it was raining, the effect would be there was a rainbow. Or because it was snowing, I built a snowman. So if you see that kind of feature in your story, then the structure is called cause and effect. If there's a major problem in the story, but then in the story they have a solution to it, then the structure is called problem and solution. And the last one is chronologically, blah, blah, blah. Sequence chronologically. So you're talking about what happens first, second, and then. So these are like step-by-step directions. If they say first, second, then, after, last, finally, then you know the structure is sequence, chronological. It's in order. This just means order. So you're going to use this and click on assignment 2. Click on week 6, assignment 2. Have it pop up. Remember to have the anchor chart right next to you, so that way you could flip back and forth between it, and that way you have it back and forth. So as always, write your name. If you need to watch yesterday's text structure videos to refresh your memory, you could do so. So again, there were videos, so if you need to watch the videos, go ahead and do that just to help you. But be sure to have your MyBook, your reading book, next to you for this assignment to help you. Remember, when you're answering the questions, full, complete third grade sentences, or you will get points taken off. Remember, this is our new type of school now. So we're in school, we do exactly like we do when we're in the classroom. So number 1 says to reread pages 294 and 295. What is the main text structure in paragraph 18 all the way to paragraph 22? Remember, each paragraph is labeled with a number next to it. So let's open up our MyBook and let's turn to page 294. Okay, 294. So this is about how did your apple juice get in your lunchbox. Now it's asking you to look at paragraphs 18 to 22. So paragraph 18, and then it says paragraph 20, 21, 22. So the entire page, okay? It's asking you to look at the entire page. And it says, what is the main structure of these paragraphs? Okay, so let's go back to our anchor chart. When we reread the page, is it going to be, let me use my other hand. It's so hard to do this with just one hand. All right, so is it going to be a descriptive structure? Is it going to be a compare and contrast structure, a cause and effect, a problem or solution, or chronological, which means in order? Remember, if it's in order, it's listing step by step, 1, 2, 3. So let's look over here. How did you get your apple juice? Wow, Miss Almeida. How did your apple juice get in your lunchbox? Last spring, the apple trees in the orchard were full of flowers. In the summer, tiny apple buds grew from each flower stalk. The buds kept growing, and by autumn, the trees were full of ripe, sweet fruit. Pickers climbed into the trees and filled their bins with fruit. A truck took the bins to the juice factory, where sorters threw out any rotten apples. Number 1. First, then a machine washed the rest and mashed them in the milling machine, seed, skin, and all. A huge press squeezed the mash till all its juice ran out. A heater warmed up the juice to kill off the germs and poured into the cartons. Suck hard on your straw to the taste of apple tang. So what structure was this whole 2 pages in? Let's go over this again. Were they using descriptions? Were they talking about a lot of characteristics of the apples? Were they comparing the apples to a different fruit? No. Were they talking about the cause and effect? Because they did this with the apple, this is what happened? Was there any kind of problem in it? Did they have a solution? Or did they have sequence? Did they have order, numbers, or first or second, third? Did they have step-by-step directions? If they did, then your answer would be that one. If they didn't, then you would have to choose a different one. But remember, what is the structure like of these 2 pages? So use these answers to help you. So when you go back, you would write the main text structure in paragraph 18 through 22 is, and you would say descriptive if it's description. If it's compare and contrast, you would say compare and contrast. If you say cause and effect, you would say cause and effect. If you think it's problem and solution, you would write problem and solution. Or if you think it's chronological, then you would write chronological. Okay? That's all you have to do for number 1. Number 2, why does the author use this text structure in paragraph 18 and 22? So now you're looking at this one. Whatever answer you chose, one of these, tell me why he chose to do that one. Why do you think, if you think it was problem and solution, tell me why the author said it was a problem and solution. Now, problem and solution is not the answer, but let's pretend it was. For number 2, you would write, the author uses problem and solution because there was a problem with the apples and blah, 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 blah. But that's not the answer, so don't do that. Which one of these is the problem? Which one of these is the structure? And then tell me why it's the structure. Okay? This right here, number 1, you're telling me what the structure is. Over here, you're telling me why it's the structure. And then number 3, what cause and effect relationship does the author point out in steps 3 and 4? So if you go to step 3 and 4, right here, we have a cause and effect. Remember what cause and effect is? Because something happens, something else happens. So, because a huge press squeezed the mash till all its juice ran out, the heater killed all the germs. So, what happened to my paper? It's okay. Let's see. It says, what cause and effect relationship does the author point out in steps 3 and 4? And tell me exactly what I said and tell me why. And that's it. Bye.